Hey, have you ever done something, a mistake in your life, and you thought, what did I just do? You regret everything because from the mistake that you did, you had to lose everything. You found yourself in a situation where you had nobody else to blame but yourself, and you have done something that is huge, something that has costed you a lot. Maybe it has costed you your livelihood, your job, your relationships, and you have nobody else to blame but yourself. I wanted us to talk about Eve for a minute because I relate with Eve in some ways. Eve is this girl, beautiful girl, married to a handsome, hardworking man called Adam. And they're living in this beautiful garden, and she has everything going for her. And one afternoon, she is in the garden smelling the roses, feeling like a queen. And before she knows it, here comes the serpent, a crafty serpent on a mission. And the serpent came and, started vibing Eve. And before she knows it, she has done the one thing that God had specifically said to her not to do. And that is to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. And she ate the forbidden fruit. And from that mistake, from that mess, Eve had to lose everything. They are banished from the Garden of Eden, and they have to now be out of fellowship with God, the Lord whom they had been walking in the cool of the day together in the Garden of Eden. And can you imagine Adam at that point looking at Eve and thinking it's all your fault, and Eve is like guilty as charged? And can you imagine that moment where Eve is feeling like, what did I just do? I wish I never, took that road. I wish I never met the serpent. And she's having this regret for what she did. What do we do when we do things that we regret? I want to speak to you on this subject, that God is a redeemer of our regrets. Because as I read the story of Eve, especially in chapter 3, as God is pronouncing judgment upon them for what had happened, He also pronounces redemption. God is a God of justice, and sometimes He may allow us to experience hard consequences of what we have done, but He's also a God of mercy. On the same scale, mercy and justice, they go together. God does not delight so much in punishing or in judging us. He delights in redeeming us. And while He is speaking judgment upon them, He also speaks redemption. And He says to Eve that I will put enmity between you and the serpent. And the serpent will bruise your heel, and you will crush the serpent's head. And that is the most beautiful thing that God announced to Eve and Adam in this set. He said to Eve, yes, this serpent may have bruised your heel, may have brought you to a place where now you have done this thing and you have to be banished out of the land and you have to suffer all these consequences. But ultimately, you will crush the head of the serpent. What does that mean? It means that God was telling Eve, even though you have done this mistake, you will not always be under the regret or the guilt or the condemnation of this mistake. There will be redemption, and you will rise over what you have done. And He says, ultimately, you will bring destruction to that which brought you, to that which caused you to sin or to commit this mess. So maybe you are in a place where you're feeling like, oh, I have done something so horrible. I've done something so bad, and I'm suffering these consequences of my sins or my mistakes. I want to tell you this, that bruised heels still crush the serpent's head, because in the middle of our mistakes, we can find redemption. And that is who our God is. He's a God of restoration. He's a God of redemption. He announces to Eve that you will not always suffer the consequences of your mistake. There will be a time when you will triumph over this situation that you have created for yourself. And He announces redemption in that very mistake, in that middle of her experiencing the consequences of her sin. God pronounces redemption. So yes, you could be going through consequences for your mistake, and you have nobody else to blame but yourself, and you're thinking, what did I do? How could I be this? how could I be this naive? How could I have accepted to do that? I was warned, I was told this is wrong, and yet I went ahead and I did it. You could have known better, but you did not do better. And you are in this place of regret and you are wondering, what is going to happen? I want to remind you that God is the redeemer of our regrets, and bruised heels still crushes the serpent's head. You will triumph over that mistake, and you will reign over that which you have done. So take hope in that situation that you're in, and learn that there is redemption even from our worst mistakes. It is not yet over. There is hope even through our worst mistakes. God bless you.